Chronic constrictive pericarditis. Instruction by the examiner. Examine the CVS. Pulse is 120 beats per minute. Tachycardia, low volume. Pulsus paradoxus may be present. JBP raised, rapid Y descent. Kussmaul sign positive. Raised JBP on inspiration. Blood pressure 100/70 mm mercury. Fall of Y descent. That is Frederick sign. On inspection, nothing significant. On palpation, apex beat is palpable in left intercostal space, centimeter from midline, normal. On auscultation, first and second heart sounds are normal. There is pericardial knock, a third heart sound due to rapid ventricular filling. So my diagnosis is chronic constrictive pericarditis. Now, what are other signs or relevance do you like to look for? I look for ascites. It is an early feature, edema, late feature, and hepatomegaly. What is chronic constrictive pericarditis? It is a disorder characterized by progressive thickening, fibrosis, and calcification of pericardium, commonly involves the right side of the heart. What are the presentations and signs of chronic constrictive pericarditis? Most features are due to systemic venous congestion, which are the hallmarks of chronic constrictive pericarditis. Symptoms are weakness, dizziness, giddiness, anorexia, nausea, and vomiting. Cough, breathlessness on exertion may be orthopnea, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, abdominal swelling, lateral ankle swelling. Signs: tachycardia, low volume pulse, pulsus paradoxus may be present, JBP raised, rapid wide descent, Frederick sign, Kussmaul sign positive, raised JBP on inspiration. Pericardial knock, a third heart sound due to rapid ventricular filling, Allers tender liver, ascites, peripheral edema later on. Now, what are the causes of chronic constrictive pericarditis? The causes are infection, tuberculosis and Coxsackie V infection, hemopericardium due to trauma, myocardial rupture after infarction and dissecting aneurysm, collagen disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, cardiac operation, open heart surgery, mediastinal irradiation, drug, dopamine agonists such as cabergoline and pergolide, fungal infection, histoplasmosis, rarely after acute purulent pericarditis, idiopathic. Calcification commonly involves the right side of the heart and can be seen by fluoroscopy. Calcification does not always mean constriction. Rheumatic fever does not cause chronic constrictive pericarditis. Now, what are the complications of chronic constrictive pericarditis? The complications are atrial fibrillation in 30% cases, ascites, myocardial fibrosis. Now, what investigations are done? Chest X-ray, PA and lateral view shows relatively small heart, pericardial calcification in 50% cases. ECG, low volume, low voltage tracing tachycardia T inversion. Echocardiogram shows thick calcified pericardium, small ventricular cavities with normal wall thickness, large atrium, dilatation of inferior vena cava, abnormal septal motion and immobile heart. Color Doppler shows reduction of flow along mitral valve and pulmonary vein during inspiration. Opposite occurs during expiration. CT scan or CMR. Cardiac catheterization shows that diastolic pressure is equal in left and right ventricles and diastolic pressure is equal in left and right atrium. Other investigations according to suspicion of cause. Endomyocardial biopsy may be necessary to differentiate from restrictive cardiomyopathy in difficult cases. Now, how to treat chronic constrictive pericarditis? Surgery, complete resection of pericardium, helpful in 50% cases. If tuberculosis, pericardiectomy with anti-TB drug. If there is no calcification, only anti-TB drug should be given. If the hemodynamic status of the patient deteriorates after 4 to 6 weeks, pericardiectomy should be done. Treatment of primary cause should be done. After surgery, persistent constriction and myocardial fibrosis may be present. Atrial fibrillation may occur after recovery. What are the differential diagnoses of chronic constrictive pericarditis? The differential diagnoses are restrictive cardiomyopathy and congested cardiac failure. Now, how to differentiate chronic constrictive pericarditis from CCF? In CCF, breathlessness is common more on exertion. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, breathlessness not common in rest occurs in exertion. In CCF, there is no pulsus paradoxus, but in chronic constrictive pericarditis, there may be present of pulsus paradoxus. In CCF, JBP raised but no Kussmaul sign. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, JBP raised, Kussmaul sign positive, and may be wide descent. In CCF, cardiomegaly present. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, it is absent. In CCF, edema early featured than ascites. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, ascites is the early feature, edema is a late feature. In CCF, on auscultation murmur may be present. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, there will be pericardial knock. Now, how to differentiate chronic constrictive pericarditis from restrictive pericarditis? Features: apex beat in not felt in chronic constrictive pericarditis. In restrictive cardiomyopathy, apex beat well felt. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, heart is in normal and pericardial knock is present. In restrictive cardiomyopathy, heart may be enlarged. LVH and LVF may be present. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, ECG shows low voltage tracing and tachycardia. In restrictive cardiomyopathy, ECG shows a bundle branch block. Q wave may be present. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, echocardiogram shows change in pericardium. Here, in restrictive cardiomyopathy, echocardiogram shows myocardium is thick. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, color Doppler shows respiratory variation in AB flow. There is no such change in restrictive cardiomyopathy. In chronic constrictive pericarditis, CT or CMR shows pericardium is thick with calcification. In restrictive cardiomyopathy, the CT or CMR shows thick ventricle.